As Lotus Would here, back with another video. Quite honestly speaking, this is the first time in my life. Never in my life have I been so impatient to do something as much as I was impatient to do this. So this is part 2 of the redo of what if Issei was betrayed. First of all, alright. So it was the Riser fight. I'm gonna make like a lot of things that happened in the anime that were before the Riser fight after it, alright? So yeah. So in this one, it's kind of gonna be like, I'll probably get to the Coco Beal fight and shit like that. So yeah. But any other events, I don't know about that. But Coco Beal, yeah, I'll definitely try to get through that one. So last I left off, no, not Deku, Issei, sorry. Issei got the kiss on the face, and yeah. So we skipped to 1 month after him saving best girl, Serafall. Okay then. So quite honestly speaking, if Serafall was in the you know, why is it every time I'm doing my what ifs, that's when I remember the characters' names? Like last night, I was just thinking about the whole what if, the whole plot line of part 2 of this what if. And my ass forgets Sona. Like, I legit forgot Sona's name. Like, dead ass. I forgot her name was Sona. And it's legitimately right now that my brain wants to work. Like, what? Because I know I was not tired last night. So how the hell does it want to work now? But anyways, so it's been a month since then, and during that whole month that he hasn't seen Serafall, she's been overworking herself. All right, I'm gonna be dead ass. She's been overworking herself. Izuku, he's been cultivating. He's been cultivating with Buddha. He learned about Buddha's palm and shit like that. So yeah, but more importantly, he's meditating. He's cultivating with Buddha because the progress speed there is faster, and plus, like one day in the outside world or one day in Issei's world would be about a few million years. All right, he's not doing billions of years and stuff like that, cause he's already like how much years old? 100 trillion years old, right? Yeah, 100 trillion years old. No, a trillion years old, I think. Yeah, a trillion years old. He's already no, I think 10 trillion. Yeah, he's already 10 trillion years old. So he's practically more powerful than Sun Wukong, the Jade Emperor. So he already knows how to use the whole spear and stuff like that. So the guy with the spear won't even stand a chance against Issei. But anyways, it won't be then. They won't find each other then. So Izuku, after cultivating, he goes to Michael and he says, "Hey Michael." As Michael says, "Yes, what is it, Issei?" As Issei says, "Well, I have a question." As he says, "What is it, Issei?" Issei says, "So, quick question about the whole god position." As Michael says, "Oh, you want to take up the job as god?" As he says, "No. More importantly, I actually want to take his power. You can have the authority of God, but I'll just have the power." As Michael says, "Oh, sure. Hold on. That's not my husband. I don't have a husband. I'm using my mom's phone. That's my dad, so I hope you guys know this." Alright, so yeah. So like if you see anyone call on the phone, just know that's one of my mom's friends or somebody from work. So understand that. Because I'm not using my phone. So yeah. Because I never use my phone. My phone doesn't have space like that no more. My phone don't have space like that no more. And plus, the mic is not working. So yeah. So Michael says, alright then, as take in mind, Michael won't be able to use the authority against, him, as Izuku says, "Come on, Michael, we have somewhere to go." As Michael says, "Well, what do you mean?" "We're going to the tower so we can get you the authority." As he says, alright then. So, like I said, the tower has infinite floors, and to get, God's power, God's power, you need to go to the 100 quadrillionth floor, then the 100 quintillionth floor to get the authority. Since the authority is stronger than the power, but like the power combined with a higher authority is, stronger than God himself. So which means he already has stronger authority than Michael, since he trained under the Jade Emperor and Buddha and Sun Wukong. Now, quite honestly, the Jade Emperor's wife. She's an excellent cultivator, but she cultivates with flower pebbles. So he uses flower pebbles sometimes and stuff like that. So the whole thing. All right, I'm gonna be deadass here. Do you see the dragons right here in the picture? Yes. Now pay attention. See, all right. The dragons. Issei has them too. Yes, I have a lot of things for what ifs. Issei has them too, but instead of it being on his back, they're around his arms. For example, instead of it being blue and red, it's actually green and red. So yeah, you may be wondering, ew, the orbs are gonna be brown? That's disgusting. Calm down. It's not gonna be like brown like poop. No, it's gonna be golden brown. Like, alright, golden brown. So on his left hand, he has the green dragon. The right hand has obviously the red one. And the orbs are basically like this. On this side, it's basically green. This side, it's red. And in the top and the middle, it is golden brown. So yeah. Now, Issei goes to the tower with him to get his, the power. Just let me show you what it means, like what symbolizes the power, alright? It's a hollow, basically. Let me show you. So, Deku, he beat, the 100th quadrillionth floor and got God's power. And basically, when he got God's power, he basically got this hollow. Like, forget the eyes. Like, the eyes aren't there. He just got the hollow. This is basically, like, imagine this to be like how, well, God originally looked. Quite honestly, I feel like God is just a ray of light and the hollow just on top of him. I don't know. Alright, so just imagine, like, the hollow and stuff like that and the wings behind Issei's head. And Issei basically... This is basically Issei's style, wearing that suit. And this is basically Michael. Yeah, they twinning now. They twins now. Yeah. I mean, like, they should be twins because, well, God's power split into two. The authority and the power. Izuku has the power. Issei has the power. And, Michael has the authority. So this is basically what Michael looks like. You already know what Michael's face is. So yeah, I'm gonna be skimming through all of these. Yeah, from my what ifs. So yeah, you guys will be seeing like all my what ifs, like all my all the pictures. It's up to you whether you want to pause the video and just watch them. So just like wait a few. Alright, and we're back. So yeah, Issei goes home and stuff like that, but on his way home, he just tells Michael he'll be leaving for a few. As Michael says, alright. Like, he lives in the, he's like a high-class angel. He's the highest class angel. You crazy? Shit, him and Michael are twins. So, he goes to where Serafall is working, and he sees that Serafall is overworking herself, as Issei, he's not having this. Like, not one bit. So, what Issei does is... he goes behind Serafall, and he hugs her from behind. As Serafall gets startled and says, "Who? It's you. Why are you here?" As Issei says, "Well, you seem to be overworking yourself." Care to explain why? As she says, I have to work for it." As he picks her up bridal style, as he just sits there on the chair and he sits her on his lap, and yeah, so you know how it is. As he says, "Alrighty then. Your hard work is no longer needed for the moment. Now sleep." As she says, "But..." As he says, "No. Sleep." As she says, "But..." As Issei says, "What did I say, Serafall?" As she says, "Fine." As she sleeps. And Izuku put on the illusion while doing the work that it's actually Serafall doing the work when we know damn well it is him. So yeah, there happened to be somebody that's after Serafall, like a pursuer. Yeah, pursuer. As he came in and said, "My dear Serafall, will you marry me?" As Izuku, he knows how Serafall deals with him, and he basically does it the same way. She basically yells and says no multiple times, as he just gets out thinking she has a bad day, like she always does. Alright, so yeah. So, about 3 hours later, it's about 5 now, because he came at 2, because he was too busy bodying the tower with Michael. Like, legitimately bodying the tower with Michael. As Serafall gets up, as Serafall says, as she says, as she's blushing real hard, she's as red as a tomato, as she jumps up and says, as Issei says, Sarah, what's wrong? As she says, don't call me that, as, she got that pie face on and stuff like that. So, yeah, you know how it is and stuff like that. So, Issei, as she just remembers, my work, as Issei says, forget about it, I already finished it. As she says, wait, what? As she says, yeah, I already finished the work, so you don't have to worry about it. As she says, okay, as, so yeah, that happened. So, Izuku, no, not Izuku, Issei, I feel ashamed of myself. How dare I call myself a whatever if I can't even remember this name? Shit. So, yeah. No, I'm too busy playing Will It Crush. No, Crush it all. Crush them all. Alright, anyways. So, Issei, he basically does, well, the work. After he just tells Serafall, I left some work for you because I could tell that you would rather want to do the work when you get up. As he goes to her and kisses her forehead and leaves. As he leaves out the front door. Not the back door, the front door. Nigga leaves through the front door. Not scared of anyone attacking him from Serafall's barrage. So, yeah. As she leaves, and all the maids and butlers are basically looking at Issei and they're like, who is he? As he's basically wearing the suit I showed you guys. He's basically wearing this. Alright, he's basically wearing it like this. Well, Michael wears it like this. He doesn't even bother to wear the suit. He mostly wears the suit around him. He like you know how you wear a suit but you like don't put your hands into like the place where the arms are supposed to be? Yeah, he doesn't put his hands on the arms. He uses it like a cape. So yeah. As he just walks off. And so yeah. So like the dragons, they're always asleep. Like the dragons that are on Issei's arm, they're always asleep. Why are they always asleep? Because Issei doesn't really, need to use them a lot since, he's already too powerful for anyone to body. Especially not Volley. Volley's never gonna body him. So, yeah. So, Issei's thinking, should I join school again? So, I don't know if I said this in the last part, but nobody knows, nobody in Rias' Parage or anyone like that knows that it's Issei. Alright? That this beautiful creature right here is Issei. Alright? They just know he's an extremely strong guy, but they don't know it's Issei. And Kiba still has the Red Dragon Emperor, but he got bodied by Volley. So, yeah. So, you know how it is. Hold on, damn it. So yeah, Issei leaves and he checks up on Serafall Leviathan, best girl, 2 times a week to make sure that she's not overworking herself. And when he does, he takes up the role and does the work for her while she sleeps on, his lap. Hold on. So yeah, and over this time, they've been doing this for about 4 to 5 months now. And Serafall's been catching feelings real quick, actually. During the first month, she already caught feelings, but she doesn't know how old he is. So it's currently the 5th month, and this is the second time that month that he has to go check up on her. As she goes and before she goes to sleep, since she's been overworking herself, Serafall says, "How old are you?" As Issei says, "Which one do you want? My spiritual age, or the age of this body? Either one, I'm still older than 18. As she says, wait, really? As he says, yeah. As she says, but what school did you go to? As he says, that. Well, I would be in high school right now, Quite honestly, I'd be in the same high school as your sister until, well, I dropped out because of certain circumstances. As she says, dropped out? No, you have to go back to school. As he says, you're right, I have to. I was considering it, but I don't really think I should, since I have more knowledge than anyone in that school can teach me. As she says, no, if you don't go, I won't let you come in. Come in. As he says, you really are stubborn. Fine. We'll arrange for that, but you have to go to sleep first. As she says, fine. As she pouts a little bit and she goes to sleep. Now, 3 hours later, she gets up and says, alright, then you're gonna go to school. But first, I want to introduce you to my sister. As he says, alright then. As then she introduces him to Sona when Sona gets home from school. As Sona says, sis, who's this? As she says, this is, as Issei said, student council pres. Long time no see. As she says, huh? There's only one person that ever called me Prez and not President. Wait, Issei? As Issei says, that's my name, don't wear it out. As Sona runs and hugs him and says, where have you been? Everybody in the student council and even, I think he was a pawn. Yeah, he was a pawn. And my pawn has been worried about you sick. Where have you been? As Issei says, so I guess Rias didn't tell you, huh? As she says, what do you mean? As Serafall says, yeah, what do you mean? As he says, do you have a table? So I can explain. As she says, yeah. So they go to a table and they sit down. As Issei explains exactly everything that happened that day of how his parents thought he was a pervert, and he also explains to them that he was never a pervert. As Sona, she actually knew about this. Sona knew that he wasn't a pervert due to, well, the way he acted, and Sona said that, and she says, I already knew that you weren't a pervert. As he says, oh, alright then. As Sona says, so are you gonna join the demons barrage again? As he says, oh, that. See, here's the thing. I'm already in a barrage. As Sona said, what? You're already in a barrage? As she looks down. As Issei, he pats her on the head and says, I know you wanted me to be in your barrage, but I'm already in the angel barrage. As she says, wait, really? Then what card are you? As he says, well, usually there's one king, am I correct? As he says, yes, well, let's just say I hold every king from every deck of cards. So I'm the king of the kings themselves. As they said, but as Serafall says, the only way you can get that is if you're, as Issei says, yeah, I'm God. As she says, but how come? As all of a sudden his wings pop out, like his 10 pairs of wings pop out, and yeah, just skimming. Let me stop. As his 10 pair of wings pop out and the hollow and wings pop out, as Serafall says, you really are God. As he says, as Issei says, well, I'm half of God. As Sona says, what do you mean half of God? As he says, well, I split God's powers between two people. One is me, the other is Michael. As Serafall says, wait, Michael as in the Archangel Michael? As he says, yes. And Serafall says, but why? As he says, well, Michael's dead. He says, well, God's dead. And I took on the mantle of God. Well, me and Michael both did. I hold God's power as where Michael holds his authority. As he says, oh. As Sona says, so what do you do normally? And Sona's scared. As Issei, he chuckles a little bit and says, you don't have to be scared. I don't punish people. I'm the mutual one. I'm mutual. Michael's the one that punishes them. After all, he has the authority, so he chooses whether you go to hell or heaven. Me, on the other hand, just punish you, well, attacking if there's any wars. As Sona, she sighs and says, "Thank God, I thought you were going to punish us for what happened." As Issei says, "Not at all. Honestly, if it wasn't for that betrayal, I would have never met the people I did. Am I correct?" As Sona says, "He's right, but who are the people that you met?" As Issei, he looks at Serafall and Sona and he puts his hand to his lips and says, "That's my secret. I can't tell you. You'll probably be in danger if I do. But I can tell you this. It's one of the many people that are stronger than God." As she says, as Serafall says, "But there are a lot of people stronger than God. How are we supposed to?" As he says, "That's the point. I want you to find that out." As he goes, as Serafall says, do you want to stay the night?" As he says, "Sure." As he stays the night. Now it's time for the shower. Oh my god. Issei's gonna be dating sisters. They're gonna be sharing Issei. Quite honestly, prologamy. I like that shit. I dig that shit. Quite honestly, I don't have a problem with having 2 wives. But the thing is, I'll end up being a bottom, so I can't have that. Because obviously, one of my wives is obviously gonna be a top, and the other one's obviously gonna be a bottom, which means I'm the middle. But then again, I'm a switch, so I deserve what I deserve. So Issei, he's gonna be top all the time. Issei's dating Serafall and Sona. So I'm gonna go find a picture of Sona, the best picture I can. I have changed my mind, and I have changed my mind for the better and not the worst. So Issei will be making a little harem without even knowing it. First off, we have Best Girl, which is the first of the harem. Then is Sona. Then is Sumaki. And then is Momo. Oh my god, every girl in Sona's harem is going to be with, Issei. Oh my god, but what about the Black Dragon Emperor? Oh my god, what about him? Who's his girl? You know, Men's is a perv. So he got kicked out. He's gonna get kicked out of Sona's Parage, and he's gonna join Rias's Parage, and he's gonna get with who should I he's gonna get with Asia. Yes. I don't know. It's just that him and Asia had they had somewhat of a good relationship. But we all know everybody loves Issei, even the mans. That's an undeniable fact. In the anime, even boys like Issei. Like my man's perverted friends, first person they go to when they see titties, Issei, we just saw titties. Dead ass. So, yeah. So Issei is forming a little harem and not even knowing it. So I'll be adding somebody else to it. So, during this time, Zex told Rias to, take, Gasper out of the thing, and stuff like that. I think we already did that, yeah. Yeah, he took Gasper out, and Issei, he observes Gasper from time to time. He doesn't really care about Gasper. He doesn't really find interest in Gasper. Yeah, he could stop time, but this nigga Issei could do that with relative ease. All this man has to do is just stare. In 1 second, he could already pause time before they even know what's going on. So, yeah. So, I'm glad to say, Issei is too overpowered for his own good. So, like I said, shower scene. Yeah. So it's not the time where they're I'll look for a house for Sona's family. Hold on. So this is the Leviathan household. The idea, the design was Sona's idea. So yeah, they don't take outside baths. Don't worry, they don't take outside baths. They have a shower inside. So he's basically showering inside at the moment, or to be exact, he's kind of in like the pool bath, and he's just sitting there, and he's just thinking to himself. And then Sona comes in. As Sona turns around and looks, and she screams, and as Issei says, calm down, it's just me. As Sona says, oh. As he says, alright, come on, what happened? And how can you see without your glasses? As Sona says, contacts? As Issei says, oh. So you wear contacts when you shower? As Sona says, yes, I wear contacts. As Suzuku says, alright, I'm gonna do something special for you. As he takes out her contacts and he tells her to close her eyes, and he touches her eyelids. And he says, open your eyes. And when she opens her eyes, she can see clearly. She can see Issei clearly as she hugs... Oh, shit, wrong picture. I'm too slow for my own good. As she hugs Issei and she sees the tattoo, she says, Issei, where did you get the tattoos? As she's just yelling at Issei and stuff like that. And Serafall hears this, and she runs in and says what happens. As she sees Issei's tattoos, and she starts yelling at Issei as well. As Issei says, alright, chill. Damn. As Issei, he gets a transmission from Michael. Michael says, Issei. As Issei says, what is it, Michael? So Michael says, there will be a meeting soon between every group from heaven, earth, and the underworld. As Issei says, oh, that's nice. Do I have to be there? As Michael says, I mean, you're technically another half of God, so, I mean, like, we have to have God there. Well, to be exact, gods. As Issei says, alrighty then. So, then the meeting, as Issei says, Serafall, do you know about the meeting that's coming up? And Serafall says, yeah, I know. There's going to be Barrage members as well. As Issei says, oh, alright then. So, so they go to the meeting. Like, it's a different meeting this time. As then you see the Black Dragon Emperor, like, yeah, not the boy one, but the female one. And Kiba comes in, Red Dragon Emperor, coming in clutch. He think he the shit. Since, oh my god, I'm the Red Dragon Emperor, I can boost my power. So Akino, so Michael did not give him the sword for transferring Ascalon, I think. Yeah, so Kiba did not get Ascalon. And Issei, he just comes in with Ascalon on his by his side, and Akino says, that sword, how did you get it? Who gave it to you? As Michael says, stop right there. As Akino stops in her tracks, as Issei turns around and says, wow, it really suits you. As Michael, he says, it seems it does. And take in mind, this is basically how they look. Like, Sun's legit got the suits. Except for, like, the whole hollow thing, because they're not trying to show that they're God yet. Unless, like, they have to. So, yeah. So, I guess I'm going to keep it on these pictures for now. So, yeah. So, Issei says, so, I guess I should leave. I mean, like, I seem to not be welcomed. As Michael says, nonsense. You're always welcome. As long as, well, you don't, accidentally kill somebody. As Issei says, accidentally? Is there even such a thing? As Michael says, quite honestly, I don't know. Knowing you, you are unpredictable as ever. As he says, you're right. So, yeah. So, everybody goes into their spots, and Issei, he goes to where, Best Girl is. He goes to where Best Girl is, and he picks up Best Girl, as she says, what are you doing? As he sits down in the chair, and puts best girl Serafall on his legs, and everybody says, as everybody's just shocked, as Sona's saying in her head, "Not right now." As Issei says, "Alright then, we can continue." As Michael looks at him and says, "Like I said, unpredictable as ever." As Issei, he smirks and says, "And I'm proud of it." As Michael, he just smirks and says, "You know, you can be troublesome sometimes." As Issei says, "I know, but I know how to keep it at a limit." As Michael says, "Can't deny that." So as he says, "Well then, let's get this meeting underway." As take in mind, Odin's not there, it's just Serafall, the Black Dragon Emperor, like the female one. Black Dragon Emperor, Zex, Azazel, stuff like that. And Volley's there. Yes, Volley's there. Why? Just to make shit even more saucy, Volley's there. Volley came. Volley, he's with the Black Dragon Emperor, alright? He's with the Black Dragon Emperor because, like, the whole Chaos Brigade and shit like that. So, yeah. So, he's just sitting down there and he's listening to everything. And shit like that. So, all of a sudden, everybody gets attacked. Oh my god, it's a whole fleet of fallen angels. As Azazel says, "What are they doing here?" As everybody turns around and looks at Azazel except for Issei, because Issei, he doesn't really care. Man, Issei was basically just caressing the head of, well, best girl Serafall. He was basically caressing her head. And, like, as everybody says, "Azazel, you didn't know about this?" As Azazel says, "Quite honestly, I did not know. I really don't." As all of a sudden they all start yelling, "Ashura sent us here to get rid of you all." As Issei says, "Ashura? Wait a damn minute. That Ashura?" As he thinks, honestly speaking, I haven't really seen him. Maybe I should pay him a visit. Like, he's thinking this, and he's still caressing, Serafall's head, and he's like, Nah, well, for now, let's get rid of this. As he gets up, and he walks to Michael, and Michael says, "What are you doing?" As Issei says, "I'll handle it. You guys can get back to your meeting." As Michael says, "Alright," as they get back to their meeting. As everybody says, "Michael, you're just gonna let him..." Michael says, "Don't worry, he'll be perfectly fine." As they said, "Fine." So, he goes outside, and he basically looks at them and says, "Alright, I'm gonna make this quick. It's either you leave or you die." As all of them just do awkward silence, and one of them in the middle just throw a light spear at Izuku and at Issei, and it basically just got destroyed. And Issei says, "Ah, I see. So you have chosen death." So basically he says, "You have chosen death by default." Yes, death by default. Worst death to have. A default death. Nothing special about your death. The common death, stabbing. like deadass speaking, I find getting stabbed to death being a default type death. Like that. There's nothing special about getting stabbed. Like, shit, you can avoid that, but you can save your life even if you get stabbed. But that doesn't mean you're gonna die right away. But still, like, your ass is so he's basically stabbing all of them basically in the chest, and they're dying. He's legit stabbing them in the chest, and they're pulling out the knives like dumbasses. Like, he's using regular knives. Nothing special about the knives, just regular knives, just stabbing into them, and they just pull them out and bleed out to death. As everybody just sees the fallen angels falling to their demise, as Ashura sees this, as Izuku knows exactly where Ashura is, and he teleports to Ashura. And he basically looks like this, but with the whole vest and pants on, and he's like, you know, you're an interesting fellow. As Ashura turns around and says, What? As Issei says, you know, I kind of expected more from you. I mean, aren't you like the, ruler of all fallen angels? As Ashura gets ready to charge, as Issei, he says, I wouldn't do that if I were you, unless you want to die, then go ahead. As Ashura attacks Issei, and Issei, he does the best move ever. stab Ashura in the biceps, each bicep, each calf, each thigh, and he stabs him in the chest. As Ashura, he pulls out all the knives and he starts fighting Issei, and Issei's just dodging. And then 2 minutes later, Ashura falls to his knees and says, "What? What's going on?" As Issei says, "See, I told you you're gonna die. I didn't. I should have warned you how you were gonna die, though." As Ashura says, "What did you do, you slimy bastard?" And says, "I didn't do anything. You killed yourself." As Ashura says, "What? How?" As he says, "You bled out to death. Bye now." As Ashura falls to his demise, as Izuku, he grabs Ashura and he teleports back to the room, dragging Ashura, and he puts it in front of Azazel and says, "Here's a little gift. I don't care what you do with him, just make sure I don't see him ever again. If he comes back to life, maybe then I'll come see him." As Azazel's like, "Is that Ashura? What the hell? How?" As he just goes back to his seat, and this time, never mind, he doesn't go back to his seat. He goes next to Sona, and he picks Sona up, puts her on his shoulders, and he says, "I'll be taking her now." As Rhea says, "What? You can't take her?" As Sona says, "Wait!" And yeah. So yeah. Reyes is basically going on about, "Oh, you can't take her. She's a really important person, and she needs to be here to listen about what's going on here." As Issei, he turns around and says, "I don't recall saying I care about whatever comes out of anyone here's mouth. Quite honestly, the only person I listen to here is Michael. Everybody here is like just a stepping stool for me and Michael. I'd rather kill everybody here than anything." Like, he's letting out a massive amount of bloodlust, basically. And all you're seeing is just his green eyes, those emerald green eyes, just turn red as a man is like a dark side, like a dark type color. It's just appearing. You just see his eyes, his green eyes, as he says, "Anyone here that steps up to me, it won't end well. I'll just kill you and be over with it." As Michael says, alright, you can take her. Just don't get her into trouble." As he says, "Will do," as he jumps off with her. As everybody felt that pressure, even Sona, and she's kind of frightened. As she looks down and says, "Issei?" As Issei looks up and says, "Yes, Sona?" As she says, did you really mean what you said back there?" As Issei said, "Quite honestly, yes, I did. But I'm not one to go around just killing people without a reason. Like I said, that's if they step up to me." And even the Black Dragon Emperor, that nigga with that, she has like that cold, calm demeanor, but like that shit was broken when she felt the whole like malice just coming from Izuku, and she went into a state of shock, like dead ass. She passed out from shock. As like Rias couldn't take the pressure, Akuno couldn't take the pressure. Almost everybody in the entourage except for Volley and who was it? Kiba, who didn't pass out, and the Black Dragon Emperor boy. And you may be wondering, why is that? Because he was only targeting the kings, basically. He was mostly targeting the kings. The only reason why Michael could handle it, because he was using the power of God now. Michael has the authority, which is the other piece of it, so he doesn't get affected by it. He has a resistance to the power of God. Unless, like, Issei infuses it with his power. But anyways, so yeah. So, after 5 minutes, the female Black Dragon Emperor gets up, and she says, "What happened?" As they explained that she passed out after Issei did, well, that, but they didn't say it was, but Michael didn't say it was Issei. So they're done with the meeting an hour later, as Issei just comes back with her, as all you can see is Sona with sparkling eyes, just looking at Issei, and everybody's wondering what happened. Did something special happen? And Issei, as Michael says, "What did you do?" As Issei says, I showed her something magnificent. As he waves to Issei to get over here, and he whispers in Issei's ear, "Did you destroy a mountain?" As Issei says, "Alright, I'll make this clear. No, I didn't. But I was close to." As Michael says, "Was it an important one?" And as he says, "No. But I reformed it afterwards." As Michael says, "Alright, that's good." So yeah, he does that. And Issei, he has the power to recreate things. Michael has authority over the world, so he can, all he has to say is reform and it will reform. So it's kind of like the power of Issei, but like his authority is on everything in Earth's universe and multiverse. So yeah, he controls everything in Earth's multiverse. Alright, I hope you get it now. Alright, so yeah, that's good. So he does that, and he's enjoying himself. So Serafall said, "What did Michael talk to you about?" As he says, "Don't worry about it. It's not anything dangerous." As she says, "Sure, but anyways, what happened to my sister?" As Sona says, "Oh my god, he's so strong. It was magnificent how he did it." As she says, "Did what?" As Issei explains that, well, he used a star to destroy a mountain. As she says, "What?" As Issei says, "Yeah." And Sona says, "I want to learn that too." As she says, "Is it a form of magic?" As he says, "Well, yes. It's used with basic fire magic." As she says, "Basic fire magic? How?" As he says, "Well, you ever wondered what would happen if you condensed fire?" As she's like, "Condensed it?" As he says, "Yeah." As she tries condensing it, but Issei stops her right there when she's condensing it and says, "Whoa there. I'm gonna have to stop you right there." As she says, "What? Why? You said condense it." As he says, "Yes, but I didn't finish. When you're condensing it, do not condense the core of the flame. Just condense the outer layers. You can condense the core a little bit." As she says, "But why not 100%? Because if you do, you have a chance of creating a mini black hole or a neutron star. And if that neutron star explodes, it will and everything it comes into contact with, apart from me and Michael, will be killed." As she says, oh. So, yeah. So, she does that. He's basically teaching Serafall and, Sona how to do that, and it takes them 2 months to master the basic star. They can just do like a regular, weak type small star. But Issei, on the other hand, he can do like a ginormous star on his finger and, well, pew, and kill somebody. So, now, we cut to a week later. During that month, they started dating. And in that week, it's time for parents month, for parents. As we don't know much about the Leviathan's parents, so yeah, let's just say they're unable to go because they're busy. So Serafall asks if Issei can go, because Issei, he hasn't yet went back to school yet. As Sona and Serafall have told him to go to school, they've taken a shower together. I mean, they started dating. As they didn't do it yet, they didn't do anything sexual. So yeah, so Issei said, yeah, sure. As he goes and he walks inside the class where Sona and Rias are, and Rias says, "What is he doing here?" As Zex comes in as well, and Zex sees Issei, and Issei sees Zex, and he says, "Zex." As Zex says, as Zex passed by, Zex has that cocky ass attitude, thinking he's strong as hell, thinking he could body this man's, but Issei just, slap, 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 slap a bitch, it's a no, nothingness, like that ass. So yeah. So, they're doing the sculptures and stuff like that. As Issei, he walks to Sona and says, "What are you sculpting?" As Sona says, "I don't know." As Issei says, "How about a model of your house?" As she says, "But I don't know how to do that." "Well, try your best. I'll give you a model myself." As Issei goes up to the teacher and says, "Do you have any more modeling clay?" As the teacher says, "Yes, we have plenty. Would you like some? As he says, sure. So he says, do you have paint as well? As she says, yes, but what colors do you need? He says, I need white, brown, green, and yeah, and a little bit of a jungle green and black. As yeah, so Issei makes this exact model of the house, and he puts it in front of Sona. Like, everybody saw him do that in front, like in just 5 minutes, and they're like, wow. As he puts it in front of Sona and says, there you go, here's a model, try your best. Sona doesn't get it quite right. She was only able to do like the water and that tiny house right there. Like this big house she's not able to do it. As she looks down, as Issei pats her head and says, you did well. Quite honestly, it's quite hard. You're kind of like a prodigy, but with the small ones. As she says, prodigy? How? As he says, well, for example, the big ones, the big house. It's easy to make sense. Well, you can see everything clearly, like every hole, every spot, every place to color, which means it's not that difficult to do. See, since you're so hardworking, you've gotten used to doing hard things than easy things, so rather than making the big house perfectly fine, you did the small one instead, and the big one is hard to do. As she says, oh, alright then. So, yeah. So he does that, and so he goes back to the seat, and he sits and he stands in the back. As they just show everything they did, as he says, well then. As he senses Serafall's aura, and he says, so she is here. As he goes to Serafall and sees that she's getting bombarded by boys. As Issei, he just pops up behind Serafall and says, touch my girlfriend and I'll kill you all. As they all get this aura of, well, superiority. Like, just a big ego, big pride, and superiority when Issei gets pissed. So they just back off and said, alright, as they just go away. As Serafall turns around and Issei flicks her in the forehead and says, why didn't you tell me you were coming? As Serafall says, I wanted to surprise Sona. As he says, yes, surprise Sona, but am I a part of it? As she says, no. As he just takes off the vest that he was wearing. Like, Issei, I'll tell you what he's wearing. He's not wearing the gold, blue, and white one. He's wearing a red, black, and silver one. All right, the opposite of these colors. A red, white, and silver one. As basically, he takes off the vest, the black vest, and he puts it on her and says, you should not be wearing these things in the public eye. As she says, but why? As then Rias comes in and says, Lady Leviathan, it's so nice to see you again without the whole meeting stuff like that. As he says, Rias Grimmery. As, Zex comes in and says, oh, Leviathan, I thought you weren't coming. As she says, I was. As Sona runs in with the other ships, Sumaki and Momo, since the other ones have things to do in their respective classes. As he says, what are you, as Sona says, sis, what are you doing? As she says, well, I wanted to surprise you. As Issei says, by surprise you meant surprise her school. As she blushes and says, no, I only meant it for her. As he says, alright, whatever you say. As he says, but anyways, I have to do some things. So I'll be seeing you later, I guess. As she says, alright then. As Sona says, but the whole school day isn't over. As Issei says, don't worry, I'll be back at lunchtime. As she says, alright. As Issei, he goes to the Jade Emperor and says, what was his name? I'm so slow. I haven't done this with it so long, I forgot his name. Oh my god. Notes have been added. I legit just got the name and I deadass forgot it. Cause like these characters don't get screen time in High School DxD, so I legit forget their names. Like the only niggas we see is Suki, Sona, Rias, the Parage, Rias is Parage. So I legit forgot the name. I think her name is Rena or some shit like that. Definitely Grayfia. This is Grayfia. So you may be wondering, how is Grayfia gonna be a part of the ship? I got you, homeboy. Got you. So Grayfia doing housework. She doing housework. She don't think you know her husband home. She's doing housework. She minding her own business. And she passes by her and Zex's room and she hears moaning. Like this is after like the whole the parents come to school for their kids' day. And like Rias's parents came. Rias's parents just saw Issei and they thought, I wonder who he is and how he knows Zex. Issei didn't really talk to the parents, so yeah. So but anyways. Shit, I forgot what I was on. So yeah, Issei he went to heaven where the Jade Emperor and said, "Hey there, Tai, long time no see." The Jade Emperor, he looks and says, "Oh, Issei, what's up, bro?" Hold on. The Jade Emperor trying to keep up with the times and shit like that with slang. So after this, I'm probably gonna be posting what if Deku was betrayed and the reincarnation of betrayed Goku. And it's going to be into a 2-hour series. Alright, it's going to be 2 parts in one. It's going to be the first part, which is basically Goku getting betrayed and how things play out. 2, basically him and getting reincarnated into Goku. Or to be exact, getting sealed into a reincarnation circle and reincarnating into Izuku. Alright, so yeah, it's probably going to be 2 hours. I don't know how long it's going to be, but still, I'll try my best and see how it works out. So yeah, this one I'm gonna make Issei smarter and no, not say Goku. So yeah, so basically he tells Jade Emperor what's happening, and Issei knows damn well that Grayfia is getting cheated on, but he doesn't want to tell her because he feels like she won't well believe him. But let's go find a different picture of Grayfia because I don't like that one. Yes, I found a much better picture. I like this picture better. So yeah, so he already knows that Grayfia is gonna get cheated on, and he already knows that Zex has been cheating on her with some random ass demon. Like shit, he already knows this, and he does not care. He don't really care. So shit. So I'm gonna make Riser's mom a ship. Oh, show you. Yes, this is the only thing we could find on her since she was only a hologram. Will I make Rias a part of this? Nah. I will not be making Rias a part of this, even though it wasn't Rias' fault that he got kicked out. So, easy how Riser's mom becomes a ship. The dad, he hit and dipped. He didn't want the child. He thought Riser was ugly and he dipped. Alright? Yeah. So, we cut back to Issei. He asked the Jade Emperor if he could go, meditate for like a month. And the Jade Emperor says, yeah, cool, you could go. So he goes and does that, and a month later he comes back out, and he is much more stronger. Alright? Like, he went to a place of cultivation that was actually created by him himself, that just one day is 1 trillion years for better progress. So, what he cultivated was a star. He was meditating on a star. He was cultivating a star to make an even stronger star, basically making even stronger stars and shit like that. So yeah. So Deku does that, and you may be wondering whatever happened to Broly. That man faded away. He is resting in peace now. Yeah, Broly's resting in peace. So yeah, that happened. Ah, shit, that bitch hurt. So yeah, so Issei does that, and he minded his own business. Capiche? Alright then. So, he minds his own business like nothing happened. And yeah, so he goes back down after saying goodbye to the Jade Emperor and his wife. And this time he's flying back and he sees none other than the beautiful Grayfia sitting on the steps and crying as Issei approaches her and says, Grayfia, what happened? As Grayfia explains that she caught Zex cheating on her, and Zex decided to get a divorce with her, and she doesn't, and she got kicked out of the Granary household as a maid. And he says, "All right, then you're coming with me." As he picks her up bridal style, and he brings her to the Leviathan household, and Serafall says, "Another woman to the harem, I see." As Issei says, "Huh? Harem? What do you mean?" As she explains, "So you have not noticed that you already started a mini harem?" As he says, "No. Was I supposed to know?" As as she says, "Yes. I mean, like, you love us, right?" As he says, "Yeah. Is there a problem with that?" As she says, as Grayfia hears this, and she starts blushing. She blushing mad hard. And Issei says, "Oh, a harem is a group of people you love, am I correct?" As he says, "Yes." So as he guessed, "Alright then, I guess I'm forming a harem." That's what Issei says. As yeah. So he he gets to know Grayfia better. Grayfia became a maid and also, well, Issei's future wife as well. As a month passes and Leviathan says, "All right then, I guess it's time we enroll you back in school." And take in mind, like, it's not like, as he says, "All right then, when is it happening?" And she says, "Well, since it's summer, we're going to be doing training for the demons, and well, then you can go back to school next year. That means you're going to be a second year, and Rias and friends are going to be fourth years." As he says, "All right then." Because this is high school, we're talking about 12th grade. So yeah. So, let's go on with it. So Issei does that, and he's been living with Serafall, Leviathan, and family, and waifus for the longest. So yeah, and they started dating, and there's gonna be R-rated scenes in the summer part. So yeah, Rias and friends come. The same thing happens, but this time Issei was watching them. He was like, they're kind of weak, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, as Issei, he says, "Alright, you can stop now. The test is done." As the dragon stops and says, "Is he really the Red Dragon Emperor?" As Issei says, "Yes, is there a problem?" As he says, "He's weak." As the dragon says, "But compared to you, though, you're magnificently strong." As he says, "Why, thank you." As Kiba gets pissed and he charges at Issei. As Issei catches his punch and he's like, "Okay, now you can go back down." As he pushes Kiba's arm back and Kiba just goes flying into the ground, making a crater. As Issei, he just flies away and says, "Well, I'll be seeing you soon." As he flies back and he says, "Okay, they're here." As they all go, like Sona's Parage and stuff like that. And the moment Izuku steps out, no, not Izuku, Issei, he steps out wearing no shirt on and just what he's wearing right here. Like he's in the window, basically, just playing the flute as he decides, "Alright, let's go." As he goes out and they see this person, as you know the vibes. Tsumuki, Sona, Momo, Rina, and what the fuck, Grayfia. Yeah, Grayfia. They they start blushing. Sona, she losing a little bit of blood, and so is Serafall. As As Rias is thinking, oh, he's hot, he reminds me of Issei and stuff like that. As Issei knows this damn well that he knows damn well that she didn't want to like do anything to him, but he does not care. He's not going to her anytime soon. As they all get along with things like that, as everybody's going on with their introductions, as Issei says, oh right, I forgot. In the meeting, I didn't introduce myself before. As he says, my name is Issei Hyodo. And Kiba says, bullshit. Issei's dead. As alright, that's better. I had to chew on ice. Why? Because if I don't drink at least something that's parched, or eat something that's parched, like water, like ice, something like that, my teeth, they get kind of like, how do I say it? They get dry, and you know, it's like to just grind your teeth, and it's kind of dry. It feels weird, like you're biting into chalk. So yeah, now it's better for me to talk. So Kiba says, oh no, Kiba, I never died. Who told you I died? As Kiba says, but you lost an arm. As Issei says, yeah, I lost an arm, but it was healed. I can't tell you by who, because you'll probably die if I do. As Kiba says, Issei, as he charges at Issei, and Issei just bitch slaps him, sends him flying. As Riser, he appears, like this time it's gonna have like the Phoenix family training with them as well. As Riser says, the great Riser has appeared. As Issei says, oh my god. As he sees Lady Phoenix, and let's just say she caught his eye, and he was like, I'll be right back. As he goes, puts on the smacky ass suit. He come outside wearing this. He grabbed Lady Phoenix, picks her bridal style, and flies away. As Riser's like, come back here with my mom. As Rhea saw that, she was like, Issei? As Serafall and Sona facepalm and said, there he goes again. I wonder, what does he see in all of us that makes him love us so much? As Rhea says, oh, love you guys? What do you mean? As he says, oh. Rias, as Sona says, Rias, you already know what Issei's true nature was. As Zek says, true nature, what is she talking about? As Rias, she cracks and says, yes, I do know what his true nature is. As she goes to Zex and slaps him and says, Issei was never a pervert. It's because of the people he hanged out with that people viewed him as a pervert. He was never a pervert. He was a common collective person. He was a nice person at heart. As Zex is hearing this and he's like, wait, he was never a pervert? As Sona says, no. As a matter of fact, he found he read those books to find out what was so special about being, well, a pervert, and what was so special about those girls, but he never found an interest in them. Until, well, the whole betrayal from, well, the Parage, as Akano and friends look down in shame for what they have done. And Sona kicked, that guy from the student council president, the Black Dragon Emperor, and she started dating, Asya. As Asya looked down in shame, and so does the Black Dragon Emperor, and yeah, so now we cut back to Issei and, Lady Phoenix, as they're just kissing in midair. They're kissing in midair. We start to 2 minutes before, as she's flying. She says, what's going on? Am I in trouble? As he says no, as he proceeds to kiss her, and now we're here. As they land, and Issei, he's on top of her, and they're kissing. Like, he put a barrier around them, like a, transparent barrier, like nobody can see them, and stuff like that, and they could just pass through them. As they're just making out there. So, yeah. As, like, she melted into the kiss, like, the first, first minute, and then, like, they're just, like, doing it. Like, they're just full on making out. Like, they're not doing, like, the dirty. They're just making out. And, yeah. As he breaks the kiss, as she has drool coming out of her mouth as they're painting, like they're huffing and puffing, like as you know, she grabs Issei and starts kissing him again because she wants more. She liked the way he tastes. She liked the way he tastes. That's what she said. So yeah, I wonder. No, I won't say that out loud. But anyways, so ow. If you understand what I was gonna ask, you understand what I was gonna ask. If you don't, you don't. All right. So, it has a relation to it's related to what I just said about like she likes the way he tastes. So like yeah. So yeah, you say he does that, and so like they do that for like a good 10 minutes. And then 10 minutes later, Issei comes flying back to where they are and says, "Alright, we're back." As Sona sees that his shirt is messed up like this, as she says, "What did you guys do?" As he says, "We didn't do anything nasty, we just kissed." As Serafall says, "I can see that. I can see drool on your shirt." As Issei says, "Oh, well then, the explanation was seen." As, so yeah. So that happens, and I guess that's where I'm going to be leaving it off, with them just starting the training and, well, them getting to know each other better. Well, Sona's Parage and, Issei and Grayfia and, Lady Phoenix. Riser's been trying to get Issei to get away from his mom, but Issei just bitch slaps Riser, cause Issei no gives two fucks. So yeah. That's where I'm going to be leaving it off, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been part 2 of What If Issei. I think it's part 3. I don't know. It's part 2, right? Yeah, I think this has been part 2 of What If Issei was betrayed the redo.